watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 31 of the Battered Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Garana, and alongside me, Mr. Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
I'm pissed. I'm heated. This is the one
Pun
that
intended?
I want. Yeah. Pun intended, man. This is the one that I wanted, right? I wanted to beat Orlando at home after losing 2 games. I wanted to go to Vegas, and the team let me down.
Yeah, man. It feels like the Grinch stole the Heat's offense. It's kind of crazy the way this off. I don't know what the hell happened. Like, I bought in. We did an episode on, is this the top team in the East outside of maybe Detroit, and it was crazy because I mean, obviously 20 games in, usually that's a good barometer on who's for real and who's not, right? I think it's a consensus. 20 games, that's a quarter of the season. If you're doing good 20 games in, you're a good squad. Since that 20 game mark, we've lost 5 out of 6. It's like it's been a really rough go. The offense has been it just hasn't looked good. And obviously defenses are starting to play. They're starting to crowd the paint. They're not, and you get to the rim like you were. Like, I remember Jaime Jaquez was like leading the league in points in the paint. Like, we were just consistently getting to the paint and then dishing it out. We weren't taking a lot of threes. The majority of our points were coming from inside the 3-point line. We're not taking a lot of threes. And now they're forcing us to take threes, and we're shooting horribly. Like, Tyler Hero yesterday, 0 for 6. Like, yesterday when the game started, I was like 15-0. Okay, all right. Vegas, here we come. We lit a fire under that. Spo did something to light a fire under their ass. This is good. We lost twice in Orlando already, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. Like, I was just convincing myself, like, all right, everything is good. 15-0, 24, and then you lose by, 9? Like, it's just crazy to me what how that game just flipped. And I get a 15-point lead in the NBA, especially that early, is basically no lead at all. But, man, that was a horrible, horrible watch last night.
It was after the first quarter, like you said. I mean, 30-17. The Heat started off, 15-0, then 20-4. Ended up finishing the first quarter 30-17, and after that, it was just downhill, right? It was like the offense completely disappeared after the first quarter. And what you said is correct, Danny. The Heat are not taking as many threes, and they're not making as many threes. Only 8 for 33 last night. That's 24%. And it's, unfortunately, it's not working. The Heat need to shoot at a much higher percentage from the 3-point line if they want to start winning some games.
I think everybody was buying into and again, I'm not saying that it can't happen, but the whole Spo for Coach of the Year. And again, he's the best coach in the league. But it is a little frustrating that, Orlando is a team that's known for its size. They're a good defensive team. They're known for their size. And then we run out there with Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, and Norman Powell in the starting lineup. Like, there is, like, playing small ball when you had Khalil Ware. And again, I think Khalil Ware is the enigma of this season. He looked like one of the best centers in the league for a stretch of like 3 or 4 games. He was dominating. We're like, holy shit, we found our guy. And he played a quarter. Yeah, he played 12 minutes last night. I don't get it. I don't understand what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like Spo was having a tight rotation last night, right? If you start looking at the minutes of the guys who normally come off the bench, Simone Fontecchio only 8 minutes, Khalil Ware 12 minutes, like you said, Drew Smith 8 minutes, Pelle Larsson 11 minutes, and
he went down with an injury.
Exactly, and he went down with an injury, so it was a tight rotation last night for the Miami Heat, and look, most of the starters played, into 30, 35 minutes, and it just wasn't enough last night. It wasn't enough. Like I said, the Heat shot terribly from 3. Not only was Tyler Hero 0 for 6, but Simone Fontecchio was 0 for 3. Bam was 0 for 3. And Norman Powell was 4 out of 12. He shot overall 8 out of 19. That's not what you want to see from Norman Powell. You want him to be a little bit more aggressive. You want him to, take some more shots from the inside and make the shots that he's going to take from three. Unfortunately, 8 of those shots didn't go in, and if 3 of those go in, you're talking about a tie game.
That's true. Defensively, it felt like Miami just was out of sync. It felt like they were, um, I don't know, they were even confused on some switches. Like it was really bad. And then Desmond Bain, and it's funny because I believe it was last episode we were talking about Desmond Bain, and I said I know he started off the year poorly. I don't know how well he's done recently, but I know it wasn't good to start off. And then somebody in the comments wrote, "No, he's been balling recently. He had 37 the night before. Whatnot." I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe he has played well." Okay, I just know he started off poorly. Yeah, he's picked it up obviously because he shot lights out. He had 37 points, 6 from 9 from three. It felt like he couldn't miss, and the defense has looked really poor as of late also. So many things that the Heat need to improve on, but obviously the offense obviously seems to be the one that stands out the most because they were playing so well to start the season. Now obviously when your defense isn't playing well and the team is scoring a lot, again it's hard to get out in transition, which is what this team was doing. They were running up and down the court, but when again, if the opposing team scores, they have time to get back and set up, and you can't attack them the way you were at the beginning of the season. So it's a lot that goes into this, and then but I think the 3-point shooting is one of the main culprits because they're forcing us to take shots outside, and you shoot 24%, you're not gonna win.
Yeah, I mean the Magic flipped the script on the Heat last night, right? They looked like the Heat of the first 20 games, and the Heat didn't look like themselves of the team that we had saw the first 20 games, and they haven't looked like that over the last 5-6 games, and we know because they've lost 5 out of the last 6. And this is the third time that you lose to the Magic, but the Magic shot 51%, 47% from three, and they out rebounded the Heat. And unfortunately, those are 3 major stats that if the Heat are gonna continue on the tear that they were the first 20 games, they're going to need to continue to improve on those stats. They're going to need to shoot at a better percentage. They're going to need to make more threes, and they're going to need to do a better job on the glass. And unfortunately, last night, Khalil Ware could have helped us out on the glass against Wendell Carter Jr., and Spo decided only to play him 12 minutes.
I think that the schedule is really weird coming up because I understand the NBA Cup was what the focus should be for the NBA, but I know the next scheduled game isn't until next Thursday, December 18th, and
No,
we're gonna
no,
end up playing against the Raptors. But I don't
no.
know what day it is they're playing the Raptors.
Yeah. I think they play because the Raptors lost against the Knicks, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
they'll play against the Raptors. I think it's this Thursday or this weekend. I don't think they have a week without a game.
No, it's not a week, but I know it's going to be really spread out because I think they play the Raptors either on Sunday or like I know it's going to be a nice big break between now and the Raptors game, and then another break between the Raptors and the Nets game. So you're going to have one game in the span of 10 days, which is probably good for this team. Spo needs to sit down, kind of re-strategize this because things have kind of gone awry. Again, with the 3-point shooting, when you really look at this team, like usually teams, like when you think of a lot of teams, your best 3-point shooters are usually your role players. Like, not always, but a lot of times that's the case, right? Duncan Robinson, Mike Miller. Like just think historically, the best 3-point shooters are usually some type of role player. Ray Allen. Our best 3-point shooters are Norman Powell and Tyler Hero. What other 3-point shooters do we have on this team?
I mean, you got Simone Fontecchio, you got Davion Mitchell. Every
No.
once in a while.
We can't say Fontecchio anymore. Fontecchio, I don't know what the fuck happened to that guy. Like he came crashing down to earth. Like I get it. Like eventually he has to come back to earth. But my God, like he's been shooting terribly. Who else did you say? Because it was Fontecchio is the only one I could think of because 3-point shooting, I don't see it on this team. Andrew Wiggins isn't necessarily a consistent 3-point shooter. Bam Adebayo is great, but you wouldn't consider him. He's great for a big man. He's shooting 35%. He's shooting as good as Cat Williams. I always call him Cat Williams. Why do I call him Cat Williams? Carl Anthony Towns. Norman Powell, obviously. Davion Mitchell isn't a good outside shooter. Jaime Jaquez isn't a good outside shooter. Drew Smith isn't a good outside shooter. Paul Larson isn't. Kashad Johnson isn't. Like, they don't have that guy that you're like, this is the 3-point shooter on this team. So are we going to have to move Norman Powell or Tyler Hero to the bench to kind of spread out that 3-point shooting?
I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility, but I have to question something that we talked about at the beginning of the season. We gave a lot of credit to Noah LaRoche on the offense, and Noah LaRoche, unfortunately, is nowhere to be seen over the last couple of weeks because the boy genius, the boy wonder, unfortunately, the offense is looking bad, and he's the offensive coordinator. So, I gotta wonder what's going on with Noah LaRoche. And obviously, we talked about, hey, we don't want to ruin this team's chemistry. We don't want to do this by making a trade, by bringing in, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, by bringing in, possibly the guy from Memphis.
John
But
Morant.
exactly, John Morant. But look, at this point of the season, I think you have to start questioning: do you need to make a trade? Do you need to do something? And again, if Giannis is available,
No, you jump on Giannis if he's
you do
available.
whatever you can.
I would have jumped on Kevin Durant over the summer. Like I get it. Khalil Ware has a lot of potential. Maybe he'll end up being a great player. There was a stretch there where I thought that, oh man, maybe they did make the right decision. But I thought that they should have jumped on Kevin Durant, man. This team with Kevin Durant, I think would have been great. But yeah, if you have a chance at Giannis, you jump at it. But supposedly he wants to go to New York.
Supposedly,
Supposedly. So we'll see.
want to go play for that crap franchise who hasn't won anything in I don't know how many years. When you could come play for the best franchise in the NBA, where the culture, just is just flowing all over the place. I mean, come on, why would you want to go to that awful franchise in the Northeast? I mean, I wouldn't want to do that.
You think there's any chance that Giannis Lee becomes a member of the Miami Heat? I don't see it happening.
I do. I do. I think that there's a possibility. I think we need to wait a little bit longer and see what's going to happen. But I think the Giannis to Heat rumors are heating up, and unfortunately for the Bucks, but fortunately for the Heat, I think that they're real rumors.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that they're real rumors, but it's still, I just find it hard to believe. All right, well, that's it, and not much to say. It was a rough go. Lose 5 out of 6. I don't think it could get. Okay, maybe it can get uglier, but I would hope that because remember the talk was, hey, they're looking this good, and this is the hardest schedule in the NBA almost. They're about to run through a bunch of bad teams. And well, I mean, we got to start doing something because those bad teams are coming, and we haven't done anything. By the way, we're 25 games into the season. Do you think we're looking better than we did last year at this point of the year?
Yes, just because obviously last year we had the whole Jimmy situation and that weighed down heavily on the team. So I think we are a lot better this year and in better position this year than we are last year. Even though like we've talked about, lost the last 4, lost 5 out of the last 6, and some of those are bad losses, right? You lose to Dallas, who unfortunately hasn't been playing well. You lose to Orlando for a second and a third time, and then you lose to a really bad Sacramento team at home. And again,
The Sacramento team is the one that killed everything. Because what I was gonna say is that losing to Detroit, Orlando twice, and then Dallas twice, that's 5 losses. Those are 3 of the best defensive teams in the league. So yeah, you look bad offensively, but you're playing against 3 of the best defensive teams. But that Sacramento loss just kind of just ruins it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And just to update all the folks that watch us, the game against Toronto will be Monday, December 15th at 7:30 p.m. at the Kaseya Center.
Wow, that's
Um,
6 days off.
yeah, yeah.
Wow,
6 days off.
but they
6 days
need it.
off.
They need it. I think they need it. I think it's
Absolutely,
good.
absolutely.
I think it's good. All right. So just real quick to end it with this. This year, 25 games in, we are 14-11. Last year, how many wins do you think we had at 25?
10.
13. We were 13-12. So we're just one game better than we were last year. But let's see. Let's pick it up because the schedule does soften up a bit. Toronto is a good squad. They've been playing very good, so let's see how that goes. But after that, then you have the Nets and a soft schedule. You got the
Yeah, you
Pacers
got
somewhere
the
in there.
Nets,
So
you got Boston, you got the Pacers, you got Atlanta, teams that you should definitely beat. New Orleans, but you got some tough matchups in there as well, Danny. You have Denver at home, you have Minnesota, 2 out of 3 games. But yeah, the schedule does soften up over the next, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, and hopefully the Heat can regain some of that magic that we saw at the beginning of the season, and make a nice deep playoff run.
Spo has 6 days to cook. Udonis Haslam has 6 days to text everyone. And your son has 6 days to meet everybody and just let them know that he's because we got to figure something out. Something has to give. All right. If you're listening on audio, please leave us 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will be back at some point. We have such a long break. We'll see when we come back. But make sure you keep that bell notification on to know when we have an episode drop. So until the next one, have a good one.